It's hard to be aggressive without being obvious, and I think that's what I'm trying to do with craft, with handwork, and try and represent it in a way that people have never seen before. It's about the relationship between those things, and I think that's also what the relationship is in this exhibition, especially because it's the first proper exhibition I've ever worked on. To describe my work, I would usually say like aggressive colour, aggressive texture, and storytelling. It's meant to be a world that you can step into, and it's a bit of respite to fantasy, because it is fantasy. I mean, everything basically in my world is fantasy with a bit of reality thrown in. Those words are quite contrasting, quite conflicting, which is something I like to enter into my work, this idea of light and dark, this idea of hard and soft. It's always about trying to find a contrast, I think, and trying to find a push and pull energy in anything I do. Like, all the ribbon pieces are quite aggressive in proportion and aggressive in their colour, but obviously very soft and feminine. This is something I've never tried on this scale or on this level, and I didn't expect it to look as impressive inside. You know, I'm kind of blown away by the scale. I've never done anything this big, and I guess I had maybe not thought how interesting it would be to have something this big, but I'm really happy with it. Also, I'm using materials I've never actually used, so I've never actually worked with ribbon as such, and one of the reasons that when I was brainstorming for this project was the idea of a ribbon is very recognizable. It's also very loaded with a very feminine context. It's loaded with a very girly, pretty, almost saccharine context. Of course, the colours I've picked it in are all quite dark browns, dark greens, blacks, white, cream, and then there's all the pinks, the blues, the lilacs, the yellows. So again, that's intentional. It's not just one colour. So it's a very loaded thing, and that's why I wanted to call it ribbons, because I thought it was really interesting to give myself a boundary to explore and play within. Ribbons actually sums up a lot of different elements. I hate using the word fun for my work because I don't actually believe it's that fun, but it's so joyful and playful, and it's like, yeah, it has those elements in it, but there's also like a sinister underlying side. You know, and the films that are playing in this are exactly that. You know, all these different emotions, they have horror and, you know, eeriness in them. People sometimes try and put you in a box. It's not just fun, it's not just playful, it's not just dystopia, it's not just excitement, it's not just energy, it's so many different layers. I realised, especially with this exhibition, it's really highlighted all my work has so many layers in it intentionally. Like, even with the paintings, I do like paintings and paint over them because I liked how you could kind of tell there was something behind them. I've been painting for years, but I've never shown any of my canvases, so these were all specifically done for the exhibition. There's a lot of text, I think text in all the paintings, which has always been quite important to my painting style because it's almost kind of like writing lyrics. You can kind of read them from the side, or you can read them as paintings. It's totally open to interpretation. I would never tell the specific meaning. It's meant to be ambiguous to an extent. I think maybe it's not what people expect as much from me. Like, it's all very much what I've been doing for years. It's just at maybe a different scale and a different platform that people haven't seen, that's the exciting bit to me, is to actually give the work room to breathe. A lot of people do say to me, like, I'd love to be able to see your work in real life, but it's actually quite rare. Even people that come to the shows, you don't get to touch it. So this is a very much more tactile experience. It's nice to get the ideas from my head into physical, tangible reality.